April 6th, 8:30 a.m. Grand Tower, the PIC meeting room. Hey, let's go. And there's Lotta Hart. She's here too. Neat. 10 members are present. The quorum has been met. From here on out, let the council begin. Today's deliberation shall be about Miles Edgeworth's aptitude and ability as a prosecutor. Let our members discuss this matter with a clear conscience of the goddesses of law. Clear conscience, don't make me laugh. Courtney, please give us your report. On April 5th, Prosecutor Edgeworth carried out an illegal investigation and resisted arrest. He was arrested by 2 of our members who caught him in the act, myself and Belze DeBaste. Prosecutor Edgeworth disrupted the investigation of attorney Jill Crane's murder. He claims that the culprit, Kay Faraday, was arrested without sufficient evidence. Even now, his claims remain unchanged. Tell us more about the murder incident. On April 5th, the victim's body was found here, in the PIC meeting room. Regarding the details, I, Sebastian, the best prosecutor, will enlighten you. The prosecutor in charge, Sebastian the Best, will explain the rest of the details. The murder happened on the night of April 4th. The victim was one Jill Crane. On the same night, a black market auction was being held in this very meeting room. I guess Miss Crane was taking part in the auction, yep. The murder occurred in the middle of the auction, did it not? When Miss Crane was found, she was dressed like the conductor of the auction. However, based on the fact that the auction continued after the murder occurred, I deducted that Miss Crane could not have been the conductor. You weren't the one who made that deduction. Sebastian, please show everyone the basis for the arrest of the culprit. You got it, Justine. And Kay Faraday was unable to bear the weight of her good consciousness. I believe you mean her guilty conscience. Yes, it was her guilty conscience that drove her to confess the crime. According to her confession, on the roof of this building, she met a figure in the red raincoat on the viewing platform. The Crane was wearing a red raincoat? Yes, that's correct. The culprit used the conductor's clothes as a red herring to mislead us. At the time of the murder, Miss Crane was wearing a red raincoat. It was I who discovered the raincoat near this building. He did? It was the forensics team who found it. To be more precise, it was the forensics team under Sebastian's orders who discovered it. Edgeworth, kind of a sassy little bitch. I'm gonna be real. If he just said it out loud, my goodness, right? I thought as much. According to the blood analysis, the person in the red raincoat and Miss Crane were the same person. The decisive evidence is the culprit's own confession. She testified that she killed her. That's right, the culprit is Kay Faraday. Could have been anyone else but her. Well then, Edgeworth, do you have any objections? Let's hear them. I have no objections. I see. It seems all the fight's gone out of you after... I have no objections to your claim that I investigated illegally. I admit to that. However, I did claim that Kay is the culprit. I will testify that Sebastian's investigation was fair and just. Of course it was, Justine. Don't you know that I'm the fairest of them all? Edgeworth, my boy, despite how things may seem, I actually kind of like you. If, and this is just an if, you see, if you were to withdraw your objection, you might be sitting on this side of the bench tomorrow. I'll ask you one more time, Edgeworth. Do you have any objections? If someone gives you this, specifically, it means they know when they're hot shit. And that means you press further. If they suddenly ramp it up, oh baby, you got them by the cojones. Don't take me for a fool. I'd advise you to watch what you say. This man is the one who should watch what he's saying. I'm talking about the case, not about a chair. I demand a testimony. By all means, let me hear it. I want to know how the PIC understands this case. A testimony from us, huh? Fine then. If that's what makes you, takes to make you happy. Courtney, give him the materials for the investigation. Sir, but that's... It's the end of the line for him. I'll let him go on the blaze of glory. If you insist, Mr. Chairman. Received evidence. Why don't we have Courtney give the testimony? I have no objections. Mr. Edgeworth. Don't worry, Kay. Just watch from over there. Let's go! Summary of the case. Miss Crane went to the black market auction as a customer. The red raincoat was one of the items up for auction. We believe that she left her seat after winning the bid for it. The only exit from the storeroom is the hatch that leads to the viewing platform. Miss Crane went out to the viewing platform where she was attacked by Care Faraday. This was how she met her end, and that concludes my summary of the case. The red raincoat was up for auction. Was that a fact? It is quite likely. The red raincoat had been a piece of evidence in the assassination attempt on the president of Zhengfa, as you well know. Originally, it should have been stored in the appropriate place, but when I asked about it, I learned that it went missing. And it somehow made its way to the black market auction. Certainly a natural conclusion. My, well done, Courtney. Your explanation is clear as ever. I am much obliged. Prosecutor Edgeworth, will you concede defeat now? Sorry, but I don't plan on it. I see. I am relieved. Relieved? What does she mean? Come to think of it, her reason for questioning me yesterday remains a mystery. Does she know? She be know. Fam, you know what I think? She is a full-time spy. Like, for Zhengfa or something like that. Like, big higher-up court on the records here. You feel me? Just what is she thinking? Oh. Okay, as a customer, huh? So you're saying that the member of the PIC was involved in illicit dealings? Regarding that, I have no response. He's right, you know. After this hearing is over, we're going to have to clean up our act. Splendid decision, Mr. Chairman. Now, there's only natural, you see? There's no need to flatter me, you know? But, you know, there was nothing to do with you at all, Edgeworth. Because by then, you won't even be a prosecutor anymore, you see? Well, now that this tearful business has been cleared up... Yes, sir. I will continue. Okay. So the red raincoat was also up for auction. Yes, and it belonged to Shelley de Killer. Based on the circumstances, we must consider that it was an item up for the auction, you see? That was what he wore when we targeted the president of Zhengfa. It was a mannequin that was positioned unnaturally amongst the auction goods. That may have been where the red raincoat had been on display. Do you know how the goods were procured? We're currently investigating it, but it's none of your concern, Prosecutor Edgeworth. Soon you will be nothing more than an ordinary individual, and then you'll be finished. Seems the results of this deliberation have already been decided. Enough about me. Please continue your testimony. Since the raincoat had been up for auction, left her seat after winning the bid for it. Why would the victim immediately leave her seat? That had to do with how the auction was conducted. It seems that after the winning bid, the winner was required to pay for the item immediately. That matches up with Miss Hart's testimony. We believe that Miss Crane paid her bid for the raincoat, and then immediately tried to leave the auction. Okay. The victim was a PIC member? Couldn't she have also just left from the meeting room? If she had done so during the auction, then its existence would have been revealed to the public. As Miss Hart knew about it, seems the cat is already out of the bag. The customers were required to enter and exit from the hatch. Miss Crane was simply following protocol. Considering where the murder took place, she must have tried to leave from there. Where she was attacked. Ooh, how was she attacked? Why would Kate do such a thing? We intend to question her about that later. Later? That seems to be your favorite time for interrogations. If the culprit was aware the customers were required to exit from the hatch, it would have been easy to lie in wait for an ambush. Miss Crane was attacked when she was leaving the hatch. That was how she met her end? Met her end? What do you mean by that? She passed away, or to be more precise, she was murdered. That candelabra was one of the items in the auction. Therefore, Kay should not have been able to get her hands on it. If she was able to lie in wait for the attack, then she must have known about the storeroom. If she had sneaked in the storeroom during the auction, she could have obtained it. Now, we only had some way to know for sure. When the candelabra was during the entire auction, you know? How about that? Where it was during the entire auction? There is no such evidence. My apologies. We hope to find that evidence soon. Edgeworth, it's too bad, you know? It seems you won't be able to use this line of attack. The victim encountered the culprit on top of the roof, and the crime occurred there. According to her reasoning, the murder took place at the viewing platform. But was that really the case? Some piece of evidence must tell the whole story behind it. Try looking again. Okay, the red raincoat. What about the red raincoat? Was that penetrated at all? It doesn't look penetrated, that's for sure. Why wasn't it? Why wasn't it penetrated? where she was attacked by Kay. Letter. She clearly knew about Kay, so like that gets me confused. And then we have to take a step to the counter. 728. So she did stake out. That's not to be contested. Then we have this. This doesn't really matter right now because everything lines up. Someone walked towards her from behind the stand and pushed her off the roof. So how did that happen? A key card for entering the PIC was in the victim's possession. It matches the victim's chest wounds. So that can't quite be it. The left chest, head wound was post-mortem. I didn't see that part. If that's post-mortem, that means that it probably fell. A key card. I feel like Justine Courtney was probably like in there as well. And Miss Crane, thank you so much for helping with my plan. I'm glad that we can help each other get what we want. It's like killing two birds with one stone. Please get revenge for 12 years ago. Huh. Age and gender unknown. Body's testimony. The black market auction was being held in the Grand Tower. Items up for auction were pieces of evidence with 11 people attended. The auction continued even after Jill Crane's murder. So that wasn't necessarily what we need. Missing its left horn. That's odd. A photo taken just after the crime. It was taken by Loda, who had snuck into the after the conductor and another person entered the storm room. One of them suddenly started screaming. I'm not really getting anything that would clearly show was found in the hidden lift. Blood seems to have dripped down the floor below. Yeah, how did she get to where she is if Kay Faraday, like, fell on her head? It's a little weird. Killer hit the victim in the box. Bloodstain was found inside. Meeting room blood was left behind. Isn't it just Yakuto Rasu's badge? That's not really going to do anything for us. That's kind of all there is, huh? Where she was attacked. I guess this is probably the closest one we have here. Someone walked towards her from behind. Nope. Still going. No, should she have a problem? Oof. No! He got hurt! This has been the most that I've been stunned in an Ace Attorney game. Like, in the proper sense, like this case. She left her seat after winning the bid. The only exit from the storeroom is the hatch. Technically true. Miss Crane went onto the viewing platform where she was attacked by Kara Faraday. This is how she met her end. There was other stuff there, like she was hidden as a body, so that's like the thing that confuses me is like where is the rest of this case? Let's read into this. The victim encountered the culprit on top of the roof, and the crime occurred there. According to her reasoning, the murder took place at the viewing platform. But was that really the case? Some piece of evidence must tell the whole story behind it. Okay, so this probably is where we have to put in Lottie's situation. The viewing platform. Okay, so let's get Lottie's testimony, or Gladys photo. Does it have the whole situation here? The photo taken just after the crime. So we'll just... There you go. Judge Courtney, I have found it to be strange for a while now. Why is Miss Hart here with us? She is an eyewitness to this case. Isn't it only natural for her to be in attendance? Ah, shucks! I reckon I'm more of an ear witness than an eyewitness. Seems like getting the trust of others isn't your strong point, Judge Courtney. Perhaps I simply do not wish to be as tactless as you. It appears you have failed to get the witness to tell you the most vital information. Please look at this photo. This is taken by Miss Hart. The photo seems to be taken in a storeroom. And what of it? According to her reasoning, the incident took place on the viewing platform. However, Miss Hart encountered the incident in the storeroom. That's right. It had taken place just before the photo was taken. Wait, if that's true, then Justine's reasoning... Exactly. Does not hold up. What? Miss Hart, allow me to ask you again. You saw the person in the photo with your own eyes, correct? I sure did. I've seen him plain as day with my own 2 eyes. And what do you think at the time? I figured I was about to get me a big scoop, you know? I guess that makes sense. Ahem. That's not what I meant. What did you think of that person? Oh, well, I reckon she helped me bring home the bacon. Are you mocking me? Ah, shucks. Don't make that scary old face. It was just a harmless little joke. The person in the red raincoat, I reckon they were the culprit. Help you understand now, the crime occurred in the... Prosecutor Edgeworth, I cannot understand your argument. You do not say it out loud. If you had simply asked, I would have been more than willing to explain. Explain what? The sounds Miss Hart heard may not necessarily be related to the case. Objection! That is impossible! Enough of your excuses! Was the voice of Miss Hart, heard really that of Miss Crane? Sure, a shady conversation must have something to do with such a case. What did her voice sound like? Her voice? Well, it beats me. How was I supposed to know? They were both using voice changers. Yes, the voices Miss Hart heard had been altered by a device. We must, therefore, question whether or not they have any bearing on the case. Objection! You need not object just because you wish to sigh. Judge Courtney, it seems I have greatly overestimated you. No, Courtney is quite amazing, you see? You claim that the sounds Miss Hart heard have no bearing in this case? Even if they do not, it doesn't change the fact that the crime took place in the storeroom. At the very least, the crime must have occurred before the victim went up to the rooftop. The reason being, evidence proves the crime occurred before the victim went up to the viewing platform. The candelabra. Where's the candelabra? Take that! Judge Courtney, could you take a look at this area? Prosecutor Edgeworth, what area are you referring to? Around here somewhere. Please be more specific. The red raincoat then? The coat then. Because they don't have holes in it and such. Ooh. Okay. The red raincoat then? Because I honestly thought it was the candelabra. Take that! Oh, It's right there. I see it. I literally see it right now. I just see it. Fuck. Oh, this is what I get for like being too on the bit about it.
Take that.
At first I thought the person in the red raincoat was the culprit. Well, Miss Hart's testimony certainly made it sound that way. Precisely. It was because she saw the person's hand was covered in blood. Anyone who heard her testimony would have arrived at the same conclusion. The person in the red raincoat was the culprit, and the blood on their hand was the victim's. However, if the person in the red raincoat was the victim, the situation changes completely. Since blood could be seen in the photo, it must have been taken after the crime had occurred. Since we've been under the wrong impression in regards to the victim's condition. This photo shows the true condition of the victim. The victim struck the culprit, was really the conductor, was alive after the attack. That would be pretty interesting. The victim was really the conductor, struck the culprit. I feel like all of these could be this case, but I feel like was really the conductor is the most interesting part to it. The victim was the conductor of the black market auction. According to what Miss Hart said, even after the victim was hit, the auction still went on, right? Indeed, that is correct. But wouldn't it be impossible for the victim to have been the conductor? I thought they were like going for a different thing here. Fuck. I'm getting so blasted about this fucking hell, dude. I can't believe this. The victim was still alive after an attack then, I think it's the most. The victim was definitely attacked in the storeroom. Immediately afterward, the victim was seen with blood on her hand. That must mean the victim was still alive even after she was attacked. The blood on her hand must have come from her own wound. No way! Are you saying that she died from a hand injury? No, that is not the case. I suspect she had just held her hand against the wound. It can't be seen in the photo, but at this moment she must have already suffered a fatal wound. If that's true, then it changes a lot of things, you know? Seems you understand that this refutes the allegations against Kay. Kay encountered the victim after this picture was taken. I believe at this point in time, the victim was already on the verge of death. It's likely Kay just happened to be present when the victim reached the end of her strength. That is quite the coincidence. Indeed. I can only say that she was at the wrong place at the wrong time. Prosecutor Edgeworth, it seems you've forgotten a crucial fact. You mean that, right? You must be pretending that he hasn't noticed it, you see? What did you say? Are you implying that I forgot something? Honey, I think it's about time you gave him his last rites. Hey, Pops, just stays with me, you know? Don't order her around like that. You know, even though you're my son, you're so embarrassing. Embarrassing? I'm sorry, but you're both rather embarrassing. Justine, give Mr. Edgeworth his, Very well. I shall give him his last rites. Oh. Edgeworth's contradiction. When the body was found, there were 3 wounds in Miss Prain's chest. I'm sure you're well aware of what kind of wounds these were, right? Yes. She was stabbed in the heart with a 3-pronged candelabra. Is there any person who would survive such an injury? Please take a look at the autopsy report. Can you still say the same thing after reading it? Well done, Justine. With this, Mr. Edgeworth will offer a rebuttal, of course. Why would you do that? Did you hear what you just said? Of course I did. I still plan to object to it. Not fair! You're always opposing me at every turn. It was never my intention to oppose you. Really? Simply not worth my time. I see. So that's how it is. Yep. After all, that's enough, you know. You're embarrassing your father, you see. Huh? What do you mean, Pops? Okay. When the body was found, there were 3 wounds in Miss Crane's chest. Sure. 3 wounds. That sounds rather painful. Indeed. We must punish the culprit accordingly. Hey, do not listen to what she says. Judge Courtney, please continue your reasoning. Very well. She had 3 wounds. Well aware that kind of wounds were, these ones, right? Why don't you ask Sebastian instead? Of course. Sebastian knows all about it. Huh? Me? Yeah. I know everything. He's obviously lying. Sebastian, maybe you should sneak a peek at the autopsy report, you know? Let's see here. The fatal wound was caused by the candelabra. Oh, so that's how it was. Ahem. The cause of the wound was just as Sebastian said. Stabbed, in the heart with the 3-pronged candelabra. Hold it! So the cause of death was a stab wound to the heart. Is that correct? Yes, the candelabra pierced right into her heart. Since this was Dr. Young's medical opinion, it must be the truth. The coroner's medical opinion follows my own opinion. Therefore, it's perfect. In the canonic no, the autopsy reports, however... Hey, don't ignore my opinion! However, the case of death was a stab wound to the victim's chest. Wouldn't it contradict that piece of evidence? Oh, he's totally ignoring me. Justine, say something! Yes, I will not allow you to ignore my reasoning. To survive such an injury? Hold it! Huh. At the very least, we cannot be certain that she died instantly. Even if she still had a little bit of life left, I thought she would have held on for long. Can people survive after being stabbed in the chest? In some cases, maybe they can. Although, maybe they can't. In the end, which one is it? No such human exists. If you think they do, then first... Please take a close look at the autopsy report. Can you still say the same thing after reading it? Why does she keep pointing at the autopsy report like it's the new hotness? Where's my autopsy report? I don't think I have it. I don't think they gave it to me. There's the letter. I don't have the autopsy report. So what if I ask? According to the autopsy report, the stab wounds to the left chest caused the fatality. Correct. The autopsy report itself is the foundation for my reasoning. In other words, I just have to shatter that foundation, right? I don't find that amusing at all. I look forward to seeing you try. Nevertheless, please take a close look at the autopsy report before you make a rebuttal. Oh, she really wants to, like, hammer that in. Show me that your reasoning is not just mere conjecture. Very well. Mr. Edgeworth? We'll be fine, Kay. There's nothing for you to worry about. Evidence that the victim was alive after the incident. If I can just find that, Kay will be... Okay, so we need to look at the autopsy report. There it is. Because there's a picture on it. Head wound was post-mortem. Burn mark on victim's hand. Burn mark? How did a burn mark happen? That burn mark is not said to be post-mortem. Only the head wound. So we have all that. That's not close to the chest at all. Nope. That's... like, you could survive this. It's not the heart. You could very much survive this. It has her hand right here with the red. So that's probably the burn mark or some such. What would be another thing that would possibly have it? Not that. Victim's fingerprints and blood were found in the hood. I think it's only the autopsy report that we really need here. Yeah, Miss Crane's chest, but like... in late last night and midnight, the cause of death was stab wound in the left chest with a candelabra. Where is it said that's the heart? Because nowhere it is near the heart. In the heart, no, she wasn't. She wasn't stabbed in the heart. It was very clearly, in both cases, not the heart, it was the chest, the left chest. No? But it clearly says heart and it says chest there. That's what's getting at me about this. Literally, it says that. Why would you? She was stabbed in the heart with a 3-pronged candelabra. Is there any person who could survive such an injury? Please take a close look at it. Can you say the same thing after reading it? I guess I would present the autopsy report here. Or something else to contradict it. So that wouldn't really show it. But like, it's there, right? Boom, boom, boom. I don't think you could hit the heart here. Could you? That doesn't look like you can hit the heart. That is the only place I see it being. And then we have key card record. And then we have Lotta's statement. It matches the victim's wounds. Which, yeah, sure. I'm not gonna argue about the candelabra. I feel like I still need to just put on the autopsy report, and I just did it in the wrong area. But, like, it clearly was, right? She said heart, not chest. Objection! No. Where is it at? It bothers me so much. Where do you want me to put it? Where do you want me to put this damn thing? Okay, so... cheap plastic. No. So, I don't think I had to put that up there. The victim's chest wounds. Age and gender unknown. Key card. The victim's letter. That's just Lotta's photo. Blood seems to be dripping on the floor. Worn by the victims. Like, it still doesn't look like there's holes in it. And that's the thing that really confuses me about this. Why the fuck doesn't it have holes in it, you know? Well, let me just skip to where I find it. I will admit, I'm a little annoyed that I had to actually go look it up, but I feel like this is kind of asinine in the sense that, like, it seems to me like she was, like, caught up in that, and, like, the whole entire raincoat situation isn't something that, like, we're looking at in particular as, like, she got stabbed in the raincoat. I feel like that was already established that she did not get stabbed in the raincoat. So, the fact that I have to present it here is confusing to me. But that's what we have to do. That is the only part I looked up. Trust me, I was closing my eyes hoping. Chemin de Beste. You know what this is? Needs to be a red raincoat. How about it, Courtney? The victim, Miss Crane, was wearing this earlier. Prosecutor Edgeworth, must I repeat my explanation to you all over again? I suppose it, just might come to that, Judge Courtney. Answer me this. This red raincoat was stained with blood. Do you happen to remember where specifically those bloodstains were located? Of course I do. They were on the hood. Wait, it can't be. Huh? What does that mean? Judge Courtney, were there any other bloodstains besides the ones in the hood? None were detected. Don't you think it's strange? The victim, died from a stab wound to the chest. In that case, there should have been bloodstains to the front of the raincoat. However, the only blood they found was on the hood. This is a huge contradiction. The wounds on a victim's head is no ordinary wound. After all, the victim sustained this wound before she was stabbed in the chest. It does appear that way, doesn't it? The victim first suffered the head wound. If she had already been stabbed in the chest, the raincoat would have been stained with blood. Therefore, it is unthinkable that her chest was stabbed before she suffered the head wound. So, the order of the wounds would be first the head, followed by the chest. However, does that really change the situation? With this, a contradiction is born, one that overturns all of your assumptions up until now. Is that change really that great? Look forward to hearing it. Well then, this contradiction, why don't you show it to me? With evidence. Which piece of evidence shows the contradiction that arises from the order of the wounds? It would be this, right? It would be this little situation? Or would it be the autopsy? It wouldn't be that. The bloodstain was found on the hip and left. I don't think that would be the case. It shows the contradiction that arises from the order of the wounds. It would be this specifically, because, like, she's getting stabbed right here, right? See, that's what always confuses me, because, like, she was clearly stabbed, or Reese, at the very least, she had the coat on of being stabbed that way. That arises from the order of the wounds. So, in other words, the candelabra is post-mortem? Is that what they're saying? Because that's what it seems to be the case, is that they're putting that out there. I feel like it's the autopsy report over anything else. Everything else kind of remains in the clear. Aside from... the victim's letter doesn't change. Her testimony does not change. The key card is still there. That actually gets added onto. I'm gonna go with the autopsy report. Take that! This is the autopsy report written by Dr. Young. According to this, the head wound was post-mortem. But that's not what the raincoat shows. Exactly. It's the exact opposite. Oh. Bailiff! Hurry and summon Dr. Bonnie Young at once! Until we hear what she has to say, we cannot close the curtains on this case.